B'siyata d'ishmaya. Everyone is on?
Yeah.
What?
We got Shtarot and some.
The Beryl is there. Shloim is there.
We should have some more people out in the next few minutes. Might be able to come in.
Okay. The Siyata Dishmaya, we're going to start. Okay. I don't know who is here, who is on or not. And where are all the rest of the boys? Want to make a round? We'll start quickly. Okay. The Siyata Dishmaya, we'll start. And first I want to say my goal. What's my goal today? My goal is to explain the argument, the Yesod, I think. The Yesod argument between Rashi and the two Tirutzim of Toysis according to the Bet Yaakov. With the different explanation because we'll see. What is the Yesod and Machlokes between them? And how everybody came to that conclusion. This is my goal today. So we'll start with Shitas Rashi. The Mishnah says, Eidi Sha'omru Anusim Hainu Ktanim Psuleidus. The law is Hainu Ne'emonim, they believed. But if Yesh Eidim Shu Ksav Yodom, there's witnesses that that's the Hainu. Or Shoyo Ksav Yodom Yotzim Okemacher, the law is they are not Ne'emonim. They are not believed. So now I want to go over the opinion of Rashi, which we did last week. We're going to glance it through in order to see the contrast, the Shita Toysis, and the few opinions what Toysis holds. And I want to explain the Yesod of Machlokes. This is my goal. So according to Rashi, Rami Bar Chomo said on the Sefer, starts by saying on the Sefer, if the shtar is mekuya, if the shtar is established, the Eidim are not believed to say the Ktanim, Psuleidus, or Anusim. Which Anusim we talking about? Anusim machmas momon. But machmas nefoshes, they believe. Even though the shtar is complete, so lichoiro the eidus is finished, and when the eidus is finished, we have a rule came in shigi shu lichoiro magil and rovas kasha. We have to say the reason why Romi Bar Chome now held before he retracted, why he held that Anusim machmas nefoshes is believed, because we will make a chilik between shtar, agoda b'shtar, and agodas eidus ba'al peh. Oyin. So, shtar is not similar to Agodas Einus Baal Peh. Why is not similar? Simply because Rashi says, the Torah says, Agoda is oral. So, he says, Asakosu kind of, or maybe there's a svara to it. So, only an oral Agoda is Kemet Shigid. But a written Agoda is no Kemet Shigid, and that's why in the Sefer by Anusim Machmas Nefoshes is believed. Why Anusim Machmas Momon is believed? Okay, is not believe. I mean, Anusim machmas momon is not believe according to Romi Bar Chome. So Rashi says is because they made on themselves a change of status, and they talk about themselves the koroiv. Velif soles hashtar. Rashi says two things. Ein onem al atzmoi. Sorry, they made myself wicked. Lifsol. They making, I'm reading the Rashi again. They cannot make themselves wicked and to cancel the shtar. So what's the pshat? You can learn like a Kivega. The Kivega says that you don't hear any word they said. When they said they did a ma'aser an action of wickedness, that they signed for money, you don't say palgin and dibur or palgin and emonus. You say no, they talk about themselves that they're wicked. So even though Eidus on themselves is out, but Eidus on the shtar is not about themselves. But I say, listen, I don't hear anything. I don't hear they did a ma'aser esha. This is what Kivega says. So you have to say that's the pshat. I don't hear Odom Kovas and as a relative themselves, so they cannot talk about themselves in the shtar, even though the shtar is not about themselves, and they're making themselves wicked, not about themselves. And some opinion that he's showing, like the Rivom says, a man can make himself wicked if it's not about Eidus. Okay, Siyata D'Shmai will continue back, so I'll go over. My goal is to explain Shitas Rashi, Shitas Tosfos, the Beis Yaakov that explains its two answers of Toys, which is the Marshal. And the Beis Yaakov, it really is like two Shitas and a Shitum Kubetzes. So we'll explain today, and I want to explain the Yesod Machlokes. So we'll start with Shitas Rashi. So in order to explain Shitas Rashi, I want to go over what Romi Bar Chome said, what Rov has is kasha, what is the answer according to Rashi. Then we're going to go over through Tosfot B'ezrat. So Rashi holds that Romi Bar Chome is saying that when the document is validated through somewhere else or themselves, from another shtar or somewhere else, through AD, so then the witnesses are not believed to say it's our handwriting or Anusim, which Anusim machmas momon of nefoshes is believed that there's no problem. You have to make a chil between shtar and agode bepeh. But Anusim machmas momon, so there's no problem of agode again agode because agode is shtar, agode through a shtar or about shtar is not choizu maki. Doesn't have the gzeras hakosu or some kind of zroa choizu maki. So Anusim machmas nefoshes they believe, nachas momon they're not believed. And Rashi says, why they're not believed? Because they're saying Eidus about themselves, Reshoim about themselves and about the shtar. To cancel themselves, Velif solas hashtar, to cancel the shtar. So therefore we say, we don't hear what you're saying. Why we don't hear what you're saying? The Kivega explains, even if you hold Palginam Dikura, but we don't believe that you did a ma'aser esha. We don't hear, not even nobody, basically, and basing shoymi. Basing doesn't even hear that he did an action of wickedness. And he throw the whole thing out. Not only is they're not believe reference to themselves, and reference to the shtar, which is not, they're making themselves wicked, but it's not about themselves. And we saw some Shitas Rishonim, a person can make himself wicked if it's not about Eidus on himself, like kindness and such like that. But here we say it's the same action. In this action, it talks about yourself too, and about themselves, the Kroivim. So this Ma'aser Resha basically doesn't hear. We don't hear the din of Ma'aser Resha. Not that we don't hear the dinim that come out of this Ma'aser Resha, of Psul. Then we can make Psul A, not Psul B. When it's about you don't hear about the Shtar you should hear. No, we don't hear the Ma'aser Resha, that he did an action of wickedness. And therefore, they're Kroivim. What?
Is the Shtar Mekuyim Soit?
So then, if you don't believe them, the Shtar is Mekuyim. Anusim Machmas, you don't believe them, Shtar is Mekuyim. But Anusim Machmas Nefoshois, so you believe them. You believe them what? You believe them to destroy the Shtar, or you believe them that it's Rei V'Trei? When Rosh Hashanah says, Anusim Machmas Nefoshois, what kind of belief it is? We say, okay, you can do Choyzuk U'Magid. By Shtar, it's only at oral agod you cannot choice it. Here you could choice it, but it should be better than Trei V'Trei. So Anusim Machmas Nefosha should be Trei V'Trei. Anusim Machmas Momen is also Trei V'Trei, but you're not Eidus. The second Trei is not Eidus because you're talking about yourself and you're relative to yourself and about the Shtar as a result of the same Ma'aser Resha. So basically doesn't hear this Ma'aser Resha. And they throw out. Yes, who's speaking? What? Somebody asking a question?
Okay, I forgot your name.
Okay.
What?
What? Somebody speaking and asking a question. Who's speaking first of all? Okay. I can't hear. Who's speaking, please? Who's speaking? No. Okay. Let's continue.
The safest Trei, is that what the Hakira is? The Hakira is on the Sefer in the Lishna Kama, or is on the Reisha in the Lishna Kama?
No, we didn't get to it yet.
You just said the Hakira, is it Trei, it's not Trei.
I'm open everywhere. I'm opening everywhere.
But how do you have Trei in the Sefer?
I just explained. According to Rambam Chom and Havamina, there is no problem of Choyzuk U'Magid. So then, now when you Choyzuk U'Magid, what do you have? You rip the first agoda, or you have two agodas. When I say by Eidus and B'Shtar, I can have Choyzuk U'Magid. And by Nefoshes they're Neman to rip the Shtar, or it's Trei V'Trei.
Well, the Gemara says it's Trei V'Trei in this case. The Gemara says it's Trei V'Trei.
Wait a second. The Gemara says Trei V'Trei when you have different Eidim, not Eidim of the Shtar.
Here was Mokamacher.
Here,
It was Mokamacher.
it's Mekuyim Mokamacher. But the same Eidim now speak. So when the Shtar is Mekuyim and the same Eidim speak, how do I perceive it? Do I perceive it like Dakyutet, that's Trei V'Trei, and I don't read the Shtar? Or it's something more. Although there's no issue of Choyzuk U'Magid, because the Pasuk is only Agoda B'Peh, not Bichtav, but it's not the same of two other witnesses from the street. They're the same witnesses, so you can say maybe he is different. You can say it's the same as Trei V'Trei. You say it's different, that they uproot the Oiker, the Eidus of the beginning. Okay, the Maram Shif. It's small like that. Now let's go back on the Reisha, according to Rashi. According to Rosh Hashanah, the Reisha. What is the Reisha?
Which Romi Barham?
The Reisha, according to Rosh Hashanah, the first Romi Barhama.
The first Romi Barhama?
Correct. Yes, Abshua. The first Romi Barhama, according to Rashi, I just explained the Sefer. Now I want to explain, according to the first Romi Barhama, the Reisha. This is an explanation. So the way Rashi defines the Reisha, he says, the Reisha we have a Peshosar Peshiti. So Anusim Machmas Nefoshois, when the Shtar is not complete. So definitely I can say that when they say Anusim Machmas Nefoshois, they believe to rip the Shtar, because they uproot the original Agoda of the Shtar, because it's not valid. But when they say Anusim Machmas Momen, why, according to the Reisha, they believe, how can a Peshosar solve it? This needs an explanation. That was the Kasha of the Ramban. The Ramban answers, because if they not believe the Anusim, so don't believe on Ksav Yodeinu. Because lo pagim niburo, or the Yeshivah says Beinu Shabbat Amiru Shabbat Kula, some kind of slower that the whole thing is being thrown out. So according to Rashi, we have to say that the Reisha, the difference between Anusim Machmas Nefoshes and Anusim Machmas Momon will be that Anusim Machmas Nefoshes you rip the shtar, and Anusim Machmas Momon you destroy the kiyum, because you say Lo Pagin Dibur, like the Ramban says, or some other people say Eilu Shabbat Lo Shabbat Lo Kulo. If I'm me. The Kivei and the Sivas. So therefore, we say the whole thing is cancelled. So Bottle Kula is Bottle the Eidos. I have a star without a key. This is one way to explain, but from Rashi's mashma, more, that is a Pesha Osa. And later on, from the Kashya of Rov, by asking on the Sefer of Kevin Sheigi, Rashi defines how a Pesha works. And he says in the Mishnah, and he says later on. And I'm going to read it inside. Rashi says the Dibur HaMatchil in the Kasha of Rov Kevin Sheigi, towards the end of the Dibur HaMatchil Kevin Sheigi, Rashi says as follows. Bishlei Mereisha, it's a middle of Rashi. Bishlei Mereisha, כשאין כסב יודום יועץ ממוק למחר, ועליו יסמכינון, כולו חד האגודה היא, is one log agoda. דו באויסו דיבו בכדי שילה שולם כאמרי, אבל אנוסים להם. אבל לא חלם ופומה יסמכינון. Rov is attacking the Sefer. Why Rami Bar Chom is saying in the Sefer, the Anusim Achmas Nefoshes that believe is Kemen Shigi. But Rashi says, why Rov didn't ask on the Reisha? So Rashi answers on the Reisha, doesn't have a problem. Why? Because since the shtar is not mekuyom, it's not valid, and you need the validation of them, you rely on them to validate the shtar. And they say, in one long agoda, since you rely on them and say one long agoda, toch kedishil hashalom dektanim absul eidus, so therefore you hear what they say. I want to explain this concept according to Rashi. What's the simple meaning of Rashi? The simple meaning of Rashi is that there's a major difference between the Sefer and the Reisha. In the Sefer, the document of the shtar is final, so the first Eidus is final. So even though you have in concept Choyzu Umagi, was only an oral ba'agoda b'peh, there's not Choyzu Umagi, this din of Choyzu Umagi, not agoda b'shtar, but you have an agoda, you have a complete agoda. But in the Reisha, we don't have a complete agoda. Because the shtar is not recognized. En chasimas yodom nika. En alpir. So therefore the agoda of the shtar is not finished. So the eidim now that speak, it's not a new agoda which is not permitted. It's not a new agoda. It's a continuation of agoda. And since toich kedishil hasholim, they say anusim, so it's still continue the same agoda. So you have one long agoda that readjusts itself. Right? You don't have to come at the Peshosa. So why Rashi says Peshosa? I'm explaining that Peshosa has two elements. A Peshosa has the proof of it, the migo of it, and a Peshosa has that the mouth that you need, the mouth that you hear, that oiser, is the mouth that speaks, and mati. So we're using the concept of Peshosa means the mouth that you need to hear to complete the agoda of the shtar is the mouth that completes the agoda of the shtar and says Anusim. That's what it means here. So Mimele, according to this, according to Rashi, I just want to say that's Pshat and Rashi. We could argue with me this. I just want to complete the logic of it. If this is Pshat and Rashi, according to Rami Bar Chom and the Havamina, the first Rami Bar Chom, the Reisha, why Anusim Machmas Nefoshes is believed? Because there's one long agoda, chad agoda. Anusim Machmas Momon, why to believe? True, they're making themselves Reshoim, and you don't hear the Ma'aser Resha. Good. You don't hear the Eidus of Ma'aser Resha. It's great, but they can readjust the Eidus of the Shtar. So we have a Peshitik as far as Eidus of the original Eidus of the Shtar. To say Eidus about themselves, which reference to the Shtar, the Anusim, we don't hear the Meiseresha, because the Koiv, the Schus, and the Koiv doesn't matter for their benefit, or even somebody else, not look after them, Nifsol Ashtar, you don't hear. But Eidus you still have, that's Ksav Yodam, it's one long Agoda. It's one long Agoda. So no matter what, you hear them. And Mitzad Eidus, one long Agoda, you have Agoda of Meiseresha. So how can you listen to the Meiseresha? So here you cannot use the svara of one long Agoda if we say it's a Meiseresha and we don't hear the Meiseresha at all. So the only thing we left is only Migul. And Migul works somehow. Peshosa works even to make it of Resha. And we don't say it's Migul against 80 because the Shtar was not established yet. So it's not 80. And Mimanov Shah. If you establish what I'm saying, so listen to the end, what I said. And if you don't establish what I said, because you didn't hear the Meiseresha, so like you throw out what I said. So what I have is I have a Migul. What? Good. So he's saying why is not against the 80, according to this law now. Explains Rashi. We say now why is not Migul against 80? Because only complete Eidus it's Migul against 80. But when I don't have a complete Eidus, the Eidus needs, as lo nikbar adina leo, is not being finished. So now when I'm myself going and I'm knocking it out, that Migum, if you believe me in Sat Eidus, you believe me Eidus, in the second part you don't believe me. So you have an Eidus on it. But you don't believe me, throw everything out. But I have the Migul to knock out on complete Eidus. So to knock out on complete Eidus, there's a svara to say Migul works. It's a svara like that. But we don't have to use my svara. You can use a svara of the Ramban. That Velot Pangil Dibum, and you throw it out. So what do you have? You have some safety throw out. So why in the nation we don't throw it out? Because when the Shtar is not complete. No. So you throw out means you throw out and you don't rip the Shtar. You throw out my kiyum of Ksav Yodeinu because I said Anusim Achmas Momoy and Lo Yipalgin Diburo, so you throw it out. So you left with a Shtar which is not valid. So Anusim Achmas Momoy, you rip the Shtar, and Anusim Achmas Momoy, you rip my kiyum, but you don't rip the Shtar. This will be according to Rashi. Unless we say there's a power of Eidus, Chodah Godo, so Mitzad the Eidus you rip. But now you don't have Chodah Godo. Because that Godo is about himself. So you don't hear this Godo say. This will be the Pshat of Rashi.
How is it possible?
How do you see that? How do you see that in Rashi?
What are you saying?
How do you see that in Rashi? Where do you see that in Rashi?
Rashi says that in the Reisha, a Peshosa works. That's what Rashi says.
He first says Chodah Godo.
No, we're talking about when Rashi speaks about
What? From where?
by the first Romi Bar Chama, in the last two lines of Rashi, he says Vereisha Tainim Mishum HaPesho HaPeshiti. So Rashi says the Reish is because of Pesho HaPeshiti. What does that mean? So the Ramban asks, how can a Pesho also works when they make themselves wicked? So you throw all what they said. You throw that or you throw it out. So you throw it out, there's nothing there. Yeah? So the Ramban answered, you throw out the kiyum. You have it on valid shtar and they mekayim it and they destroy it. You believe them to destroy their validation that they said to our handwriting, because then later on they said that Anusim, they make Zov Geshoyim, and you don't say Palgin and Diburo, or we say Shabbat Lemitzos, and you throw the kiyum out. So what you left with? You left with unvalidated shtar, and you don't collect with it. But Anusim Machmas Nefoshois, who actually believe to rip the shtar. לא יקראו את השטר. אלו נאמונים by nefoshes, you rip the shtar, and I learn the money by moment will be that you destroy the kiyum, but you don't rip the shtar. Because they're not neman to destroy the shtar. Because they're destroying. You don't hear anything, you don't make a chiluk between what they said and what they said about themselves and the shtar. If you make a chiluk, it's different. Okay, about themselves you don't hear, but the shtar you believe, so that you rip the shtar. That's what to say, like in Kiva Eger said. But if that's true, so why in a sefer we don't make that chiluk? So you have to say in a sefer we don't make that chiluk because you have a complete edus of the shtar is already validated. So you really are choiz umaki, just as a heter that only the godesh of the shtar, not Baal Peh, is choiz umaki, but really that the edus is complete. I'm saying edus against. So in the world of edus against, I don't hear and not believe to destroy the shtar. Okay, but believe, but someone who's not the shoyim believe, you can't, you don't hear the Maisaresha. There's one edus. But in the Reisho, it's not a real edus because the shtar is not complete edus. And now you're saying edus to fix a shtar. So it's like Edim saying edus in court, and they fix what they said. So it's not a normal edus, which could be there. We don't have the dinim of choiz umaki, and therefore, and we can say that we can hear on what they say about the shtar because it's not nogea to them. If it's in the world of edus, we don't hear the whole ma'aser. But if it's not in the world of edus, it's a world of adjusting the shtar, readjusting the shtar, because in the Reisha the shtar is not complete, so they have to readjust to fix the shtar, and that world could be. I'm not talking about edus about myself. I'm talking about edus of the shtar, which has nothing to do with me, and it's not a real edus. It's just refabricating, re-explaining what I said in the beginning. And that first edus is not complete, because I'm validating my original edus. It's not that I have a complete edus and you have two edus from the shuk talking edus Baal Peh against the shtar. Or the shtar is finished and they themselves, but they're like outside, because since the original edus is finished, so now I have a real edus. And by real edus, my seresh I don't hear like the Kiva Eger says. But when the first edus is not complete in the Reisha, so now I'm not saying edus, I want to validate. And I want to say kayem edus shel kiyum is not a real edus, because there's no edus. I'm not saying edus now. I'm saying I'm fixing what I said then, and I'm mitzaref. I'm attaching myself to that edus, attaching myself to that edus who says that I have the deed that I don't hear the ma'aser. He'll make a split. I would say on myself I'm not believe, but on the shtar I believe. Like Kiva Eger's kasha in the beginning, that feeling you can say. That's a small I said last week. So we have all the Ramban shot in the Reisha, or Majid. Yes.
It says Chada Godo.
So I'm answering. When Rashi said Chada Godo, when Rove asked his question, and he said, I know, he says Chada Godo, and he explained that's a Peshosa. So now I have two ways to explain a Peshosa Chada Godo. Chada Godo, so therefore by nefoshes I'm believed, but by moment is believed, I'm making myself Peshoy. You have to explain. So there the Ramban answered, Loi Palgim Nibu, when I throw out my kiyum. So it's Chada Godo, you throw out my kiyum and you don't rip the shtar. Or my pshat is, you rip the shtar because when the edus of shtar is not complete, and I want to validate that edus, it's not a complete edus about the shtar. It's explaining, it's an explanation, it's validation to explain the incomplete shtar there. So therefore, when I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about the shtar. Who says, we say, I don't hear the Ma'aser. Maybe there we hold like the Kiva Eger, Skasha, that about themselves, they cannot make us under the shoyim. Eidus about themselves, they cannot make us under them. But Eidus, which is about themselves, but not reference to themselves, reference to somebody else, maybe you can make us under the shoyim. Okay, it's a small. But this is Shita.
How come not?
Yes, Sveidinim.
Sveidinim, right?
Yes.
Sveidinim is a different.
Yes. You have a complete edus, because the first edus is finished, and now it's a complete edus. and a complete Eidus cannot destroy a first Eidus only with rules of Eidus. And when you are Koroi, I don't hear the Ma'aser Resha. But when you don't have a complete Eidus, and I'm mitzaref to that, I have it sealed to the original Eidus, maybe there's a different dinim. That reference to myself, I cannot make myself Rosh. But reference to Siruf, to the Shtar, I can make myself Rosh if it's not okay to me. Like Tainus. Simple.
How come Rashi, in the Rashi Kivan Jehigin, by the Bishloimo, he asked the Kasha,
Right.
and he answers Choda Goda.
Right.
And Rashi right after that, in Elodam and Gemachmas Nefoshes, he asks the same Kasha, and he gives a different answer. He says, the first Rashi didn't say
Yes.
the first Rashi, Kivan Jehigin, he didn't say a word about Peshalsa. He just says it's Choda Goda, he answers the whole question.
Right.
Takes away the chasal of Tzotzomani.
Right.
And the Rashi, El Da'amri, Machmas Nefoshes, he has the same kasha, the have a problem of Kivan Shegin, and he says, no! Make it your mind. If it's the same kasha, it's the same teretz. The Rosh Yeshiva put in the same Rashi of Agoda, Choda Agoda, he put in the whole next Rashi. But it's Rashi didn't say that here.
So what's your question?
If it's true
Yes.
that in Choda Agoda you need to put in everything, Apesha Osal and all, and that the zeal is not enough, you need everything in there to answer the question. And if you're missing one chelik, you didn't answer Kivan Shegin.
Yes.
How come Rashi only said a Choda Agoda over here? And in the next Rashi, he has the kasha again, and he gives it another teretz of Apesha.
Here he says the facts, and then he tells you the reason. No, brother. Okay, now I want to explain our places. We're excited this week is about the Tosfot. This is just, we published what I said last week. But it's a contrast of Tosfot, that's why I really said it. It's not Stam. It's not Stam a review. Now let's see Tosfot. This week we're excited about Tosfot. Let's read Tosfot, the two Tosfosim. And we're going to go over what the Yaakov was saying. And I think what the Yaakov is saying is really the three shittas. Rashi against the two Pshatim and Tosfos. So, and I want to explain the Yesoid Machlokes. That's my goal today. Tosfos Harenu Ne'emonim. I'm reading the first Tosfos and the Mishnah. V'im Toima, Tosfos asks the question. V'im Toima. Ve'lama Ne'emonim, why do I believe? If the shtar is not validated only through them, where do I believe? Ve'lama Ne'emonim, Tosfos says, why do I believe? V'omigo b'mokom eidimu. It's a migo against eidim. Why amigo is not believe against eidim? Because amigo it's a proof, and eidim is ultimate truth. So l'choilo a proof cannot remove ultimate truth.
Which eidim again?
Which eidim we have? See, Tosfos says, the Anan Sadeh, we are witnesses. Shelo you are Anusim like Psule Einus and not Windikam. Tosfos is saying, when we have a shtar, the shtar has a problem if it's mezuyaf or not. So you need kiyum that makes sure it's not mezuyaf. But there's other problems about the shtar. Even if I know it's not mezuyaf, it's not forged, but maybe the witnesses were anusim or psuleidus. We have to say that once we know that's not mezuyaf, it's real, that's the chasima, it's a real live signature of 80. Alan Sadi, we are witnesses that they were not anusim and not psuleidus. I mean, they had kashas, they did it by kashas. Kedim. Alan Sadi. What's the raya that we have such an ansade? Later on in Daf Yutet Amud Bet, the Gemara says, if I have a shtar that is being validated and the witnesses died, Mesu Ha'edim, and Iskayem Mishtar Shekorol of Arab, they brought another shtar and they were mekayim it from another basin and they validated the shtar. And came Shnei Eidim min hashuk, 2 Eidim from the market, and testify against the shtar. That's the Hainu and Ktanim Anusim, Psul Eidus. The Braisa says they're not their money. The Moses says, why they're not their money? So therefore you collect with the shtar, because it's validated. It's treve trenu, and the Gemara says you're right, the treve trenu, and you don't collect with it. Only tfisa. So comes to says, wait a second. What do we see from that? That the second pair from the street that testify against the shtar that was validated is considered 2 against 2. Where's the first 2? The first 2 only said that it's not forged. The Kiyum only said it's not forged. But where's the fight, 2 against 2, the fight that the first 2, or the shtar from outside the validated, or 80 from outside the validated is their handwriting, they didn't say that they were not mine or psul eidus or oktanim or anusim. Must be it's built in. If it's not mezuyah, if it's not forged, anan saade is built in, mistomek sheidim, and then it's a kind of a chazaka, like cheskas kashkas. So therefore it's anan saade that they're not ktanim psul eidus and anusim. So therefore the Gemara there is the kashas trei v'trei. The 2 people from the market that says the anusim in psul eidus is against the 2 Eidim of the shtar that said that it's not mezuyah. We know it's not mezuyah, but it's built in. If it's not mezuyah, if it's them, it's built in and anusim and psul eidus. So therefore, Taisus wants to extract this concept, and he said the same thing is by our Mishnah, by the Rosh of our Mishnah. The Rosh of our Mishnah, we have a shtar which is not validated, and so then the 2 witnesses themselves came and said, Anusim Hainu, and they have a migo about it. It's a migo against 80. Why? Because once I know the shtar is on mezuyah, it's not forged, it's built in Anansani Eidus that they were not Anusim. So now they themselves having a migo that the Anusim, doesn't matter, the Foshois or Momoin, according to the first Rami Bar Chama, and according to the second Rami Bar Chama, it's only Nefoshes, not Momoin, but it's the Foshois. Then have a migu. Why did a migu? It's a migu against Eidim, against Anan Sadi.
Isn't real Eidim better than Anan Sadi?
Wait, but it's unclear in a second. But it's unclear in Tosfot. How do we know that the shtar is not forged? There's 2 ways to learn in Tosfot. Shittim Kubetzes brings 2 ways. Is it because the witnesses came and said, Ksav Yoteinu, so then I cut the words, cut. You know, you have movie cut. Rabbi Pona, I don't know if you're with us, right? In the world of movies. Cut. You cut. So they said, Ksav Yadeinu, you cut. So now I know it's not forged. So then right away it gets built in Anan Sadeh that are not Anusim. And then when they said Anusim, even though it's a Migu, but it's against Anan Sadeh. Against Eidim, it's a migu against Eidim.
I have live Eidim against an Ansari. Live Eidim don't work against an Ansari. Live Eidim.
Yes. Live Eidim comes, Rabbi Bovman, and asks, live Eidim. Live Eidim. Eidim Chaim. They're not believed against Eidim, against Anan Sadeh.
Anan Sadeh is like the Chazaka.
Anan Chazaka is even stronger. Yes. Nachon? Anan Sadeh is stronger. Wait, let's go over Tosfos. Wait, we're going to go over Tosfos very carefully. I want to explain the Marshal, I want to explain the Yaakov, I explain the 2 Pshotim, the Shita Yeshon and the Teis Rosh Pshotim. 2 ways how to read Tosfos.
Lots of problems.
Lots of problems. But we have to solve one by one.
Is that 18? What is it?
Listen carefully.
18 or like
I want to say a couple of chidushim. Kama chidushim.
Is that Kaumdana? Anan Sadeh is that Kaumdana.
No, so Eidim not talking.
So Eidim cannot kind of move them. You have to say it's Anan Sadeh. We are witnesses. We are witnesses. It's basic witnesses. It's stronger than witnesses. So it's equal. But Miko definitely is not more than Anan Sadeh. Because it's like witnesses. The shaila is, there's two shailas on the table. Where do we create the Anan Sadeh? How do we know that the shtar is not forged? Because I cut the words of the oral Eidim. The Eidim that signed the shtar now come orally and say, this is our handwriting. You do cut. And I know it's not forged, therefore you built in the Anan Sadeh. And the Migo of Anusim is against that Anan Sadeh that they built themselves in this Tigul. So he says, a good answer. It was never built in. Because what they said is in order to say in the end, okay, they divo, okay. Or no, Toys were not asking that. Toys understood that every shtar midoraisa is nicer kedishanech yeredusim bebezdin. Like Yeshloki says, and like Toys the Gemara of Gimel Amudalev Begiti says that midoraisa Omar Yeshlokish Edim mechasum el mashtar nicer kedishanech yeredusim bebezdin. Midoraisa every shtar is like being investigated. And we don't worry for chiziyuf. It's only with the Rabbanon by Gitin or by Shtaros of money if the loive says mezuyov. If you don't say mezuyov, you don't worry for mezuyov. Maybe lutanina, but in essence we don't worry for mezuyov. So therefore, since the shtar midoraisa is not mezuyov, so already midoraisa is built in the Anan Sadeh that they were kosher. Once I know midoraisa, that's them. It's not forged. So right away I have that Anan Sadeh. So Mimele, how can the Migo, that's what it's kasha. How can the Migo, they understood when they say Ksav Yodeinu v'Anusim, they never meant to say Ksav Yodeinu. They meant to say Ksav Yodeinu v'Anusim. Rashi says in the Chov Beis Amud Beis, what Rashi said? Rashi says, Tchilas Diburum al Shem Soifer. If you look in Rashi, and Daf Chov Beis Amud Beis. Sorry. Where is it? It's Chov Gimel Amud Beis. Dibur HaMatchil Mishum Ein Moloi. Sorry. Mishum Di Kador Amoin. It's 5 lines on the bottom in page 23b. Rashi defines what is a Peshosa. וכשרואים תחילת דבורוב על שם סויפוי אמורוי לגמור בוהם לקחתי ממנו. Rashi says, when I say something, Ksav Yodeinu v'Anusim, my beginning dibur was Hashem Soifer. I said what I said with the intention to finish. Is you can't do cut, because you can't cut my words. This is my intention. When I said Aleph, I meant to say Aleph and Beis, not Aleph. I want to say two things, not one thing. It's not 1 plus 1. I want to say 2. So Tchilas Dvoroi, not Tokirei Dibu because I retract. Tokirei Dibu I can retract. Because the Chacham in Tosa says in the Rabbanon, the rabbis gave you a power not to finish your word and to readjust your word and to choizer within time of speech. He was not saying we're retracting. You didn't retract. Tchilas Dvoroi Hashem Soifoy Amor. The beginning of the words is in order to say the end. So let's go back to us. Just want to say, let me finish. I want to explain this Svolin places. There's another way to learn in Toises. That when Toises said this legal against Eidim, where the Eidim came from? The Anan Sadeh came, if we know it's not forged. Is one way is, we said the first, that they said it's Ksav Yodeinu, you cut, and you know it's not Mezuya if you build in the Anan Sadeh. And the next word, Anusim, it's with a Migu, it's a Migu against Eidim, that's why it's just kasha. Oh no! When you have a shtar that is not valid, midoraisa, it's a good shtar. It is not mezuyah. And right away, midoraisa, you're already built in the Anan Sadeh. So now when they say, Ksav Yodeinu v'Anusim, there's no kiyum and breaking. There was no kiyum to start with. Oichiach soifer al tchilosoi, shetachlis tchilosoi l'shem soifer. The end proved that the goal of the beginning was to say the end. To say two things. Ksav Yodeinu v'Anusim is we are Anusim in our Ksav Yodeinu. We will force in our Ksav Yodeinu. Not Ksav Yodeinu and Anusim. Tchilas Dibu Hashem Soifer. So true, you have a Migo, great.
What do you need Migo for?
But this Migo, wait a second. But this Migo is fighting Anan Sadeh. Because once we do we know that the shtar is not Mezuyov. That's the Shlokish. So Mimele, like we see, the more Gimel Amud Aleph. The Midoraisa, the Shloki says, is Kenech Medusa Bebezin, so it's a real shtar and Zamazuyov. So therefore, Midoraisa is Anan Sadeh, so the Migadah is against Anan Sadeh. If that's the kasha, the answer should be very simple. True, Midoraisa, it's not Mezuyov and you have Anan Sadeh. But Lemaisa Miderabbonon, you cannot collect with it. So it's not a real shtar. So the Migo is not fighting Eidus. This is a Shita answers the way you learn.
Where's the kiyum?
This is Shita.
Where's the kiyum? You need a kiyum to collect the money.
Right, that's the answer of places. This you look in the Shita Yeshivah.
In the Kasha Tosfos, where's the kiyum?
Oh, the Kasha takes as follows. You have to say the Kasha takes us was, although we don't have kiyum, but since Midoraisa, I'm not worried for Siyuv. So reference to the clash, that's the point. Reference to the clash. And what's the clash about? The second pair says Anusim. Because they said, we Anusim in our handwriting. We Anusim in our handwriting. That's the one pair. And the first pair, the shtar, what they self-signed, his saying Midoraisa, there's not Mezuyov, but we have Anansai Midoraisa. So that fight, that's not Nogeya, that you have a problem with the Ziyuv Miderabbonon. As long Midoraisa is not Mezuyov, the Anan Sadeh of not Psule Eidus kicks in. And the answer is no. Once the rabbis worried for Kiyum and I cannot collect in reality, Apumedashto, Lo Gavinon Momo, that's the language of Shita Yeshon. Lo Gavinon Momo in the Haishto, that's the language of the Shita Yeshon. Which means, so therefore I say, Midoraisa, the Anan Sadeh doesn't kick in. Even though it's not Mezuy of Midoraisa, so reference to the clash, which is Anan Sadeh, has nothing to do with the Ziyuv. So it should be in. Comes the Shita Yeshona, the Shita Kubetzes. I'm reading the Shita Kubetzes language. We have to explain it. Shita Kubetzes language is as follows. It's a Daf Dalet in the papers of Slabodka, and Shita Kubetzes in the left column. V'yeshoima. Keivon de Rabbonon mi atzruch, ishtakach be'eksav yodom yotzru kemacher, Di'ilo imase de'inu aksav yodom, lo mafkinon mamoino apumo de'ashto. What does that mean? Lemaise, you don't collect the money with the shtar. So true, Midoraisa you have an Anan Sadeh, but it's Anan Sadeh which has no more practical value. So therefore, the Eidim are not finding a practical shtar. It's like a chaspa miderabbonon. So therefore, it's not against Eidim. Because you have Eidim and Doraisa, you're right. It's migu against Eidim Midoraisa. But since with the Rabbonon you cannot collect the shtar, wait. So Mimela, what's the goal of those 80? They want to say you cannot collect with the shtar. Anusim, you can't collect with the shtar. So since Lemais in reality you cannot collect, so true mitzad the Eidus, the worry of them if they are the worry of them, if the Psula Eidus, we don't worry. Because you have a Dorais. But Lemais said they're not fighting a shtar. They fight if mitzad the Dorais said the Chazoko, the Anansad, the Nananusim. You're right. And it's Eidus against Eidus. It's Migo against Eidus. It's Migo against Eidus. But it's Migo against Eidus, which is not a good Eidus. It's Eidus that comes from a shtar that Lemais you don't collect. So what was the Havamina? So what was the Havamina? You have to explain what was the Havamina?
Lemais זה נגד Eidim. מה תשובה? מה אכפת לי שלא היית גובה מזה? מה זה משנה? למais היום כשאתה מגיע להיית אתה נגד Eidim של הטוירו? כן. איך היום המיגו הזה נאמן נגד Eidim של הטוירו? מה אכפת לי מהשטר הזה? בפועל היום אפשר לגבות איתו או לא?
I think the pshat is that since you cannot collect lemaise, so now this shtar lemaise is not an eidus. So I'm not finding the migu is not finding eidus. As far as collecting the money, as far as the alvod, the loan. You have a shtar that you have an eidus that they were not anusim b'psul eidus, but it's a shtar that you cannot collect with. It's not eidus. It's a piece of paper that people that wrote on it, they were not psuleidos. So what we are saying, we're saying it's our handwriting, but Anusim means it's not a shtar. And we agree, and they're not fighting a shtar, it's not a shtar midrabbonon. So it's not considered against Eidim, it's against the piece of paper. Okay. needs more further, needs an explanation here. What was the happening was the maskana.
Why do you need
So I just want to summarize. We have two explanations here, Tosfot. One is Tosfot is asking, what? Who's speaking, please? Say his name. Okay.
You could say it's Svora.
I'm gonna say. You want to say so? I would love to hear because that's my goal.
Yeah, because I understand in Tosfos that you have three. When he brought a raya, they were it came the.
We don't hear. We cannot hear.
We cannot hear you, Reb Chaim, because you get cut off. So
touching his mic?
maybe touching your mic. So don't touch your mic. One second. Let's see if we can get it. If not, we're gonna continue on. I'll give you 2-3 seconds to succeed. I can't hear you, Reb Chaim, so we're gonna have to. We can hear you now. Yeah.
Can hear or not?
Now I can hear you. Yes. Just don't move. Just continue on talking.
You can hear?
Yes, we can hear.
Yeah. You got what Tosfos is having is because you see when they said tray for tray, it means that there's an equality between the star from up.
We can't hear you, Reb Chaim, again.
Bad signal.
Bad connection or something?
Yeah, you have the back connection.
You have a bad connection.
Bandwidth is low. He doesn't have enough.
Okay, we continue on. I will hear you. I would love to hear you because that's the Ika here. I want to explain what's a Svor. Ika, Shmais, and Svor. Have to come down and end in Svor. Okay, so let's go back. I want to summarize the two pshatim. And then if I can hear you again, I would love to hear you. First, let's summarize. There's two ways to learn Tosfos Kasha. One way is to say, Tosfos asked, why in Ereishim when the star is not validated only through them, why they believe it's Migo against 80? Where's the 80? Once we know the star is not forged, we, Aram Saadeh, that are not Anusim and Ktanim Psuleidus, like we see in the Gemara Dafritet, that the Gemara says when the star is validated, outside witnesses come testify against and I believe, because it's 2 against 2. Where the first 2 said that they're not Ktanim and not Psuleidus, only said that they are not forged. Must be Tzadam Sadek. So we'll see here in our Mishnah narration when the star is not validated, but we know the star is not forged. So therefore, I have Anan Sadeh that they were not Anusim. So therefore, it's a Migo against 80. How do I know that the star is not forged 2 ways? Or because the 18 now orally said Ksav Yodeinu, and I cut, and right away it's not forged, so therefore I have Anan Sadeh. And the next step they say Anusim, it's a Migo against 80, that's Tosfos Kasha. Or no, Shtar Midoraisa is not forged, and Midoraisa have that Anan Sadeh that they're not Anusim. And Mimele, what they say now, Ksav Yodeinu of Anusim, I don't have to say I cut. It's Tchilas Limur Hashem Soy, we know that concept. But still, it's a migo, it's Tchilas Limur Hashem Soy, but it's a migo against the Eidus that came through the Doraisa that the star is not forged. The Nafkilim will be how we give the answer. Yes, what do you want to say?
Anan Sadi is a Lashon D'Rabban.
Right. The phone here rings. The phone here rings. Maybe his line got cut off.
What is the other side?
What do you ask about my
The way it's explained, if
That
you
is not
Okay, that's pretty good. Where are we going from here?
and the other side is
They want to hear you, Rabbi Bo.
I'm saying that if you would say, if the Gemara, if Tosfos Kasha is
And the other way?
not the Kiyum, but Midoraisa is a good star. So then, to prove that, I don't use the Lashon Anan Sahadi. Because Anan Sahadi,
You said Anan Sadeh. Because you only know it's not forged, but how do you know that they're not Ktanim Psuleinu? That's Anan Sadeh.
a star with the license never pushes for anything. A
said that Shtam Midoraisa Commissioner Choro. But the Gemara never said that it's not Ketanim Suleidos. You have to build in this concept from outside of Dafyuteh without it being approved. You don't have to know this now. He brings the Shiti Yeshon. Yes. He used the language of.
People getting better. If he doesn't, he's better.
Which daf is it?
The Daf Dalet in the papers and so on. Yes.
Hey, can you repeat again the two tzaddim?
I'm going to repeat again the two stuff.
Can you repeat again the two tzaddim?
Yes, I can repeat again, no problem, without question.
Where is the
In the Daf Dalet in the papers and so on.
yeah, but where is the Shiti Yeshon talking?
He quotes, he says this pshat, and he says, Kemosh Kosu but Shita Yeshon, and he brings a Toisarosh. He brings a Machloikas Shita Yeshon Toisarosh, Hainu on the Toismas. So I'm explaining the two tzaddim. One side is to say that the Anan Sada came because the Eidim said it's our handwriting, and you cut the words, and you know it's not forged. So therefore, there's Anan Sada and Anusim. And when they continue and talk Anusim, it's amigo against the Eidim. That's what it's kasha. Oh no, it's Midoraisa. When every star sign, even though it's not Mekuyom, Midoraisa, Shloki says, Eidim achasum and Ashtar naisa ki mishenechkero. And Rashi in Masechet Dav Gimel Amud Aleph says, Nechkero, and it's not Chayshin and Mezuyov. We don't worry for forgery. So we have Nechkero Midoraisa, it's not forgery. If it's not forged, the Anan Sadi kicks in that they are not Anusim and not Ketanim, not Zuleidos. So now we have Migo that they say Ksagadainu Vanusim, and we have to come and count. It's one of Digu, which is a Migu, against the Shtar Midoraisa, which you have an Ansad. Those are the two sides to explain the Kasha. So now I'm going to go into the Marshal and the Turas Yaakov. And then I want to give a svot. What? Yes, Rabbi Chaim.
Put Rashi into Tosfos.
I can't hear what you said. Put Rashi in Tosfos, he said?
Put Rashi into Tosfos.
Put Rashi in Tosfos, that's what you're saying?
You said Rashi says you don't. Yeah, maybe who says Tosfos holds like Rashi?
I didn't say that. My goal is to say they're not. And I'm going to explain. My goal today is to say there's three shitas here. That's what I want to get to. You see how everything fits. Because Hashem will explain the steps. What's the nekudas hamachloikas, the argument between the shishi, the three opinions. So now let's go over the kasha of the Marshal and the point of the Nesivas Divrei Yaakov, the Beis Yaakov, that explains that the Marshal follows one answer of Toises, and according to the other answer doesn't follow, and then we're going to rearrange the opinions and give maybe a small to it. This is what I want to do. לא, השיטה מסביר שתי פשטים בקושייה. אפשרות מה שאמרתי. אחר כך הוא מביא את הטייס הראש. והטייס הראש לא לומד ככה, הטייס הראש לומד ככה. זה לפי, that's according to שיטי ישון, לפי הפירוש. But according to טייס הראש, the answer is totally different. And I want to explain, אני רוצה להסביר, I want to explain.
שתי הצדדים עצמם קיימים גם לפי שיטת הטייסס. זאת אומרת, זה מה שהשתנה בין השאלה לתשובה. בשאלה הטייסס הבינו שזה מיגו נגד איידים. בגלל שהאיידים קיימים בעצם, אז טייס שאל, מיגו נגד איידים זה לא. אז זה טייס אומר לא, שבאמת האיידים לא קיימים בעצם. כיוון שהבונים פסקו את השטר, אז הם לא קיימים בעצם. כל מה שקיימים זה מתוך הפה של הסרגלים, פשוט אתה יכול לבחימן. כי אז המיגו לא נגד איידים, אתה יצרת את האיידים.
זה פשט אחד. יש פשט שני, שיש איידים, but this type of migu of mezuyov is never against Eidim. And that's what I believe. This is a place of אבל אפשר ללמוד לא ככה. נכון, אבל אפשר ללמוד מהלך אחר ואפשר ללמוד את התשובה אחרת. ונראה אם הטייס יש פשט שלישי. Yeah, we're going to open this door. That's our goal to
What
come.
does Crisis want to accomplish by saying the magic words, what did he accomplish by that I didn't know now, until now?
Where Toisa says Torah Kelim?
That's the whole creation.
And the answer you need. One second, we didn't get there yet. I'm still in the kasha. So I want to bring down the Maharsha. We asked everyone to see the Maharsha. The Maharsha explains Toisas kasha. And the Nesivus argues on him. And he says that the Maharsha is right only according to one answer of Toisas, not according to the other in the next one. So I want to explain that today, Bezrat Hashem. And then we'll have to give a svara to Bezrat Hashem. Comes the Maharsha and asks the kasha. I don't understand Toisas' point. What Toisas is asking, why in the Reisha they are believed it's Migo against Eidim, that's Toisas' kasha. Wait a second. It's not Migo against Eidim. It's Eidim plus a Migo against Eidim. Because if you look in the Gemara later on, and Daf Yutet, the Gemara says that the Eidim that say against the Shtar, Ksav Yodeinu Ksav Yodeihem Anusim Hoyu, it's Trei V'Trei. So also here, when the same witnesses talk and they want to validate the Shtar, it's not only Migo against Eidim, it's Eidim plus a Migo against Eidim. And what's a simple svar is, Migo against Eidim doesn't work, and Migo against Eidim doesn't work, and Eidim plus a Migo against Eidim doesn't work, like 100 Eidim against 2 Eidim doesn't work. Because 2 Eidim is like 1,000 Eidim is ultimate truth. So what do I care if I have Eidim plus a Migo against Eidim is 2 Trei V'Trei. So Mimele, the Maharsha's kasha is, what's Toisas kasha? Lama ne'emonim, why the belief they say Anusim? It's Migo against Eidim. It's not true. It's Trei V'Trei, and one of the Trei has a Migo. It's Trei with Migo, Trei plus a Migo against Eidim. And therefore it should be a Sofek. So what's the kasha? Why do I believe? They believe to make a Sofek. Like the Ramban learns, according to Rami Bar Choma, in the Reisha. Rami Bar Choma in the Reisha that says, on the Sefer, moment is not nefoshes that believe in Rosh Peshosa, it's not Kenachiki. But in the Reisha, even Mamoino is nefoshes and moment is believed. Why moment is believed? The makes of Reshoim, the Ramban says, Lo Pagim Libure. And therefore what? You don't rip the shtar, you just throw what they say. So, what's Toisas kasha comes the Maharsha is? Should be like the Ramban's pshat in the Reisha of Rami Bar Choma. The first Rami Bar Choma. Kind of, just making the deal. And the Toisas is asking like this. Lama Neman, what I believe it's a Migo against Eidim. You know why we believe them? Because it's Eidim plus a Migo against Eidim. So it's a suffix. I believe them as a suffix. Sure, I don't believe them to rip the shtar, but I believe them to create a suffix. Like the Ramban learns, according to Rami Bar Choma, in the Reisha, the first Rami Bar Choma in the Reisha, by Anusim Machmas Mamon. Anusim Machmas Mamon, he ripped the shtar. Anusim Machmas Mamon, it's Rei V'Trei, it's a neighbor of Shat of the Mishnah. And more than that, the Maharsha says, the Gemara Toisas should have asked his kasha on a Sefer, on our Sefer. Should be Trei V'Trei. Why do not believe it? The Shtar is Ne'emon. Should be Trei V'Trei. So the Maharsha answers as follows. He says, on the Sefer is not Trei V'Trei because in the Choyzuv Magid. But on the Reisha, the Mishnah says, I believe them to rip the Shtar. And Toisas kasha is, why do I believe to rip the Shtar? It's only Migo with Eidim against Eidim, which is a suffix. So he agrees to his kasha. And really, in our Mishnah, when the Mishnah says Arin Ne'emonim, it's Ne'emonim means they're not Ne'emonim to rip the shtar, because it's Trei with Migo against Eidim. It says, so the Mishnah says Ne'emonim means you believe to rip the shtar. Toisas kasha is why they believe to rip the shtar. It's Migo against Eidim means it's Eidim with the Migo against Eidim. It's a suffix. And the Mishnah says that they believe to rip the shtar is not even a suffix. That's Toisas kasha according to the Maharsha. Okay? I hope everybody saw the Marshal so they know what I'm saying.
Not okay, not okay.
Not okay, so I'm going to go over it again.
Not clear, not clear.
Not clear,
To me
okay?
it's not clear. Not, to me it's not clear.
Okay, maybe for a lot of people, I'm going to go over it again. The Marshal's Kasha, I won't go into Marshal's Kasha, so what's the Marshal's Pshat and Toises? Okay, that will make it much easier. The Marshal learns that when Toises asked, Lama Ne'emonim etzmigo against Eidim, the Kasha of Toises is, it's Eidim with the Migo against Eidim. And why the Mishnah says, it's Eidim with the Migo against nothing, that they believe to rip the Shtar. Should be Eidim with the Migo against Eidim, because the Shtar has an Anan Sa'adeh that they're not Psule Eidus. So it's Eidim with the Migo against Eidim, because the Shtar has Anan Sa'adeh. And why the Mishnah says it's Eidim with the Migo against nothing, against a piece of paper, should be believed to rip the Shtar. This is the way the Marshal learns Toises Kasha. Again, I'm going to say it over again. When Toises asked, Lama Ne'emoni means, Toises understood that the Mishnah says, since the Shtar is not validated, and the Eidim says, our handwriting with Anusim means we believe them will rip the Shtar. And Toises Kasha is, Lama Ne'emoni. Why do you believe them to rip the Shtar? It's Migo with Eidim against Eidim. And where's the Eidim of the Shtar? Because once we know Zan Mezuyov, it's Anan Saadeh, that they're not Psuleidos, and not Ktanim, and not Anusim. Like we said in Gemara Dafite. This is the way the Marshal learns Toises Kasha. Now, let's think together with the help of Hashem. Siyata Nishma. According to the Marshal, that the Kasha was why we ripped the Shtar should be a suffix. If it wasn't that the Shtar had 80, will be 80 with the Migo against a piece of paper. And I ripped the Shtar. How can I rip the Shtar with the Migo if the Migo is Migo de Baishosik? If the Migo was, believe me, that it's my handwriting and I was Anusim, because I could have said Mezuyov. And Mezuyov, he ripped the Shtar. So now that I say it's my handwriting, but I'm Anusim, believe me, to rip the Shtar. But if my Migo is, believe me, that's my handwriting and I'm Anusim, because I could have been silent and not validated. So when you're silent, you don't validate the Shtar, you don't collect with the Shtar, but you don't rip the Shtar. So it cannot be that my Migo, my Taina, will be stronger than my Migo. And since through my Migo, by being shosik, silent, I don't rip the Shtar. So now Anusim Hainu cannot rip the Shtar too. So when the Marshal learned Pshat in our Mishnah, that I ripped the Shtar, must be that the Marshal's learning that the Migu here in Toisvis, it's Migu of Mezuyov. Believe me that it's in my handwriting of Anusim, because I could have given a testimony as Mezuyov. And Mezuyov, I'm never against Shtar. Why? Because as long as Shtar is not valid, I'm never the same Mezuyov. It's a type of Eidus Amneman, yes.
The first Anusim that you mentioned,
yes,
where you're going to want to say that you couldn't rip the star, which Anusim was this?
Both. Nefoshes among, but the according to the Havamim is both. According to Maskon is only Nefoshes. I'm not involved in having Maskon. Toises Kasha is. Toises is not involved with opinions here. One by one, the first or second. So let's go back here. So according to the Marshal comes the basic outlook. And he says, the whole Marshal, Pshat and Toisvis, is built in on an understanding that the Migo of Toisvis, it's a Migo that they could have claimed another claim of Mezuyov. That's Pshat and Toisvis. Toisvis is, the Mishnah says, if the Shtar is not valid, I believe the witnesses say it's our handwriting, and it's Anusim, because we could have said Mezuyov. And Mezuyov, you ripped the Shtar. So now also when we say Anusim, rip the Shtar too. But if the Migo of Toisvis was, believe me, it's our handwriting we were forced because we could have been silent and not say anything. Silent means it's unvalid Shtar, you don't rip it. So now it cannot be when we say now to rip, you rip it. Unless there's a bypass, you say you should put the There's one long Eidus. So it's not like it's a pesho zan stam migu, it's a pesho zan. And therefore, as long as you destroy the holiness. We're going to see that maybe later on. That's another story. Comes the Beis Yaakov and he says that the Maharsha is only like the first answer of Tosfos. The next Tosfos. What does the next Tosfos ask? On the Sefer, I'm reading the small Tosfos, the next second Tosfos on the Mishnah. It's a small Tosfos. Tosfos says as follows. Eme amoni, they are not believed. Leike la'akshuye de le'enu b'migu. Di bayu omrei paruao. Tosfos says, why when the shtar is validated, I don't believe the witnesses? Why they have a migu? Migu of what? They can say parua. So they says, wait a second, I have a migu mokomedim. Kevon mikuyo, since the shtar is established, it's migu mokomedim. It's edus and migu against edim. Ve'oi, the chosu magidim. The kevon chishu chosu magi, it's not an edus, it's not an edus, it's not a migu. Migu against edim, it's not an edus, chosu magi. The third answer is the Beshnei given out in a migu. By two people, we don't say migu, an active migu. The Reisha ne'emani shupa pesha ibai shoki. Toises make a chiluk in the last answer. Two people, two edim, you cannot say a migu when there's an active claim. We say A, believe us because I could have said B. Maybe I would say B, but who says my other A will say B? By two people, we don't say migu when you have to say, believe me A, because I could have said B. I could have said B. Maybe he has other interests and he won't say B. See? So by two people we don't say an active migu. So why in a Reisha we have a migu? Because there the migu is by shosi, it couldn't be silent. The shtar is not valid, we can be silent and not validate, continue not to validate. Now we say it's our handwriting and we destroy it by saying Anusim, believe us that what is unvalid shtar, we don't rip the shtar. Because the migu, because the tainer cannot be stronger than the migu. And silence, you don't rip the shtar, so the tainer now also can't rip. But according to the first answer of Toises, that the migu is of parua, or like an hour Toises, migu de mezuyov, and the reisha, according to the first answer. So then, we can rip the shtar like the Maharsha. Comes the Beis Yaakov and he says, the Maharsha follows only the first and second answer of Toises, but according to the third answer of Toises, the Maharsha doesn't follow, because according to the third answer of Toises, the migu of the reisha of the Mishnah is migu by shosi, and now you cannot rip the shtar. So even Anusim machmas nefashos, you don't rip the shtar. Maybe it is mitzad edus, and edus you could rip the shtar. That's already a third shot. He brings down the third possibility. What do you want to say,
That's the Beis Yaakov, the end of the Beis
That's the Beis Yaakov, yes. I just said now the Beis Yaakov by heart. Comes the Beis Yaakov and he said the third possibility. And then I want to say my smallest with the Rosh. Comes the Beis Yaakov and he says, wait a second. Even if he said, the Maharsha would have said, listen carefully, that the migu is migu de baishosi. If the shtar is not validated, and the edim says our handwriting and we are Anusim, and the migu was they could have been silent, why you rip the shtar? Not mitzvah the power of migu, mitzvah the power of edus, because the original shtar is not complete edus. And now they're continuing readjusting the edus. It says long edus. So long edus, the talking about continue the edus. And then saying Anusim, so you rip the shtar mitzad the edus, and apeshosa, and choda agodo, and not migu of we don't care about the migu of migu b'aishosim. So now we have three possibilities here. Two possibilities in the Maharsha. Three possibilities in concept to read the places. Then I want to medayik in the language of places. Who does one of those three perushim? What's the best perush of all? That's my goal. And we have to give a svara. What's the argument here? What's the yesoid machloikes? Which I think the last shot is Rashi, one on Haggadah, and the two pshatim in Tosfos. Migu by Shosik or Migu.
Repeat the Beis Yaakov. You can repeat the Beis Yaakov again?
Yes, I can repeat the Beis Yaakov again. I hope everybody saw it inside. 1 second. Rabbi Bloom is asking a question. Repeat your question. Again, repeat. How can you say Yeah, I'm hearing. Speak. Yes. Very good. Very good. Good question. I will say your question in loud and I'll give an answer. His question is, how can we say a migu that they could have been silent? They need to give a testimony. The Torah says in Lo Yagid, if you don't say a testimony, you carry a sin. Right. What's migu? Believe me that I'm not lying, because if I'm a liar and I'll carry a sin, if I'm a liar, I could have said I don't recognize this handwriting. I don't know anything about it. Silent. And carry a sin. If I'm a liar, I could be a better liar. So the pasuk is not relevant here, because talking about now the migu that if they were liars, they couldn't be a better liar. That's the answer to you, Rabbi Bloom. So now I'm going to go over again to this Yaakov. We may read it inside. It would take me a few minutes. I hope we're not carrying me away from the ego. So let's read it. I'm reading inside the Beis Yaakov. If anybody has the Beis Yaakov, please look inside. I'm going to glance it through. Reb Shloim, is better to read it inside, or I'm going to tell you by heart? What's better, easy for you?
Inside, 2 minutes inside.
Okay, I'm reading inside. It's a Daf Dalet in the papers of Slobodka. Betoises Dibur HaMatchil Areinu Ne'emon Lo Yichoshiv Kiyum Klal. Toises answers that is not considered Kiyum at all. En Lo Yimar B'Kavonosim. Don't explain in the meaning of Toises that Shtar Choshi Keshtar Shel Mekuyo. That the Shtar is considered a Shtar which is not validated. Means they are believed to destroy their first statement that they say Ksar. That's not the belief. It's not a belief to destroy the first statement, like the Ramban is learning. No, it's not the Ramban. Though Amar Shok Kosam, Amar Shok wrote, the Koyin La'ashtar, you read the document. Ubeshtar Sheinu Mekuyom and Koyin Ashtar. And the document which is not established, you rip the shtar. Sorry, you don't rip the shtar. Which means you cannot be like the Ramban, that they're destroying their kiyum. If they're destroying the kiyum, you don't rip the shtar, and the Maharsha says you rip. So what is the pshat according to the Maharsha? Like we said, lo chenir, therefore it looks like the tirutz de ocho, the answer of the first Tosfot, according to the Maharsha, like the next Toises Enemon on the same. Sheikh Toises asks the Lehenu Minigo de Pavua. Toises asks why, when the Shtar is validated and not believed, they have a Migo Pavua, and Toises answer 3 answers. That's the first answer. Since it's Mekuyom, it's like Migo gets 80. I am sure. Velefise comes the Yaakov calculates. Bereisha, that's the Sefer. Because the Shtar is Mekuyom, but the Reisha when the Shtar is not Mekuyom. We have 2 types of Migo. Migo Pogua and Migo Mezuyov. Velefise Bereisha de la Mekuyom. Lo yishu Migo de Vaishat Kilechudhu. You don't need a command that the Reisha, it's a weak Migo of being silent. Actually, Ibaishas, sometimes is a very strong Migo. It's very easy to 2 people to say. But as far as here is weak, because they didn't read the Shah. If it's a nigga that could be silent, you don't read the Shah. So it cannot be that the Taina would be greater than the Migu. The Migu is, we could have been silent. Okay, if you guys, 2 witnesses are silent, and the Shah is not validated, so stays not validated, and I even want to say, believe me that it's Anusim, it cannot be that the Anusim will be stronger than the Migu when the Migu itself is silent, you don't read the Shah. The Imkena Avekenim and Shtor. Rak must be This must be that the migo is of the ratio when the shtar is not validated and it says our handwriting. And when Anusim, the migo there was migo the parua or mezuyov. The oz are you calling the shtar, then you rip the shtar. It's an active migo. Believe me, I said A, I could have said B. It's an active that I could have said an active taina. Mishum ochi therefore. Shoyim Anusim gam b'vim lashtar. That's why now when they say Anusim has the same power of the migo, of the time of the migo, mezuyov or parua, and you rip the shtar. V'lo yave migo mokamedi. And it's not migo against Eidim like Toysa's answer. Because the kiyum wasn't considered a kiyum to start with. As if I don't have witnesses. This is what Toysas conclude. And Dakyutet, we consider the second pair like two witnesses. Umashma Mashma is not established. And I ripped the shtar. This is the first answer of Tosfot fits with the previous Tosfot. Omnam, however, Lefiti Utzabes means the last answer of Tosfot. Shekoswa Tosfot Bino Atchila Ne'emonim. I'm turning the page. The Bereishon Ne'emonim, the Bereishon that I believe. Bemigu, the Baishatke, migu that could be silent. So such a migu cannot be the time that's greater than migu. So then I don't read the shtar. So it comes out, the Divrei Yaakov minimize the Maharsho. Says the Maharsho can only fit, only according to the first answer that you rip the shtar, is an active migu. But according to the second pshat of place, last part of places, there's a migu to Baishatke. Because migo and active migo by 280 I don't say. So therefore I'm left, migo by shaska, I don't read the shtar. But he says, Avol on the Mashitu Mukubetzes, that's the third pshat, I think Shitas Rashi. Oy no Mashitu Mukubetzes Kosa. Gaberau Shnaim Eidim Acherim. The Kosho Niskayim Avekiru Onigma Redusu Shabishtan. It's very important. This is what I said last week. Venemoni Mashnaim Shom Anusim Hainu. Midin Eidim Koy Mashtar. He says, he found a Shitim Kubeset, and he quotes it somewhere. You have to look it inside. I think that's our Shitim Kubeset. Then he says that when I have an unvalidated shtar, the testimony is not finished. Lo enigma riduso. Shebashtar, the testimony is not finished. So therefore now when they say it's our handwriting, and talking to say Anusim, it's continuation, it gets attached to the original Eidos. So now they're believed as the original 80, midin eidos. So the Pesha Osar makes Chodah to make it one long eidos.
He doesn't say that, this says
Uno momento. First I'm explaining such an idea. Vekoyim ashtar. And therefore I ripped the shtar. Velefiz according to this. El loima. Da'afil oison eidum atzmum ne'emoni. Sorry, not loima. It's a mistake, I didn't read it right. I read it again. Velefiz efshol loima. According to this, possible de abla, possible to say. Da'afilu oison eidus atzmon, even if the same eidin themselves. Ne'emoni, from which power? Not migo anymore. It's plus. Mitin eidus, trei vetrei. It's eidus, but it's not trei vetrei, it's one more eidus. Kshoedigma eidus shabashtar, when the shtar is not finished, so now my eidus continues. Keshaloi niskayim, as it was unestablished. This is what he said in Rashi. He's saying unbelievable. He says, once I found the Shitim Kubetzes that says that when the shtar is not validated, when the Eidim come and say it's our handwriting, it's a continuation of that original Agoda. They get attached themselves to like Eidim comes in court. And they start to be investigated, and the court didn't finish investigating. They still can talk. The Eidos didn't finish. Like the Ran says in the Sanhedrin, they quoted here, I looked in the Ran inside. Look in the Ran, in Sanhedrin, it's brought on the Daf Gimel here. Ein Chidush HaRan Sanhedrin, Daf Mendal, Beis, Demo Matchil, V'chiyad Levu. Look in the Ran there, the Rosh Sekhedim. So when the Ran says, I think the same thing there. That when the Eidos, like the Shtum Kobetzes, when the Eidos, the Shtar is not Mekuyam, So the Eidu Shtar continues. So the Eidu Shtar continues. So now the Eidim are continue to talk. So it's not against and it's Migo against. It's one more Eidos and I readjust my Eidos. You don't need Migo even. Why? So why Rashi says Apesh Osan? Apesh Osan means one more Agodo. Toke de Digo. That's what Apesh Osan. Which why the Agoda continues? Because you need my mouth to oyster. Apesh Osan means Alay Samchino, which means the original Eidos not finished, and you have to rely on my correction to finish the original Eidos. That's what it means, Alay Samchinon. And therefore, since Alay Samchinon and Apeshos are talking in Dimo, I continue, so it's one more Agoda that attacks the original Agoda, it's just Agoda. So it's not legal, it's one more Eidos, a readjustment of the Eidos. That's a Pshat in Rashi. Or that's a Pshat in Yaakov.
What do you mean Apeshos about?
You don't need.
But Agoda makes it one long Eidos.
Apeshos, let me finish. Apeshos, it's a buzzword. Sometimes it means it means migu. It's a lot of stuff. It means a lot of things. It can mean a lot of things. Here, Konterashi Apeshosa means here that is one Chode Agoda. Since the original Agoda is not finished, it's open. And now I can continue speak. And while I'm speaking, Tokere Dibu, I'm finishing. So therefore, listen to me. As what? As Eidus. As Agodo. They're not okay, they're readjusting what they say.
Rashi says Aku. That's what Apeshos are.
Well, I know that. I know.
So now
mistake. The Aku, the first, the oral words, not the Shtar. They're readjusting the Shtar. Aku, they say Ksav Yodeinu. And now they say Anusim, the Oik Ksav Yodeinu.
I don't need that.
But why Ksav Yodeinu to start with? You hear them? Because the Shtar, Einu Shtar was not Nechtav yet. Ayla Shloki says, Eini, Shekatum al Shtar, Naisi Kimi Shenechtav. This is why I come in. This is I want to explain the Yesod Machloikis here between all the Shittas. So let's see a thing together with all of Hashem. What do we have? First make a summary, and now I'll try to explain with the help of Hashem. We have here 3 Shittas. One is the Reish of the Mishnah when the Shtar is on the Kuyo. I have a Migo against Eidim. And the Maharsha says it's Eidim with the Migo against Eidim. And the Teres Yaakov explains the Maharsha, which is Eidim plus a Migo against Eidim. Which type of Migo? Migo of Ziyuf. Migo of Parua. That you can rip the Shtar. Why is that? Why do you have to come under that? Because the original Eidus is finished. When I say Trei, you see from the whole Maharsha, the Maharsha understands there's no difference between Eidus Shebeshtar, that's Miskayim, then you speak again as Choyzer Umagid, and Eidus of the Shtar, which is not Mekuyom, he calls the Eidim that takes out your Dinim Anusim, he's called a Trei. So he says, why it's Migo against Eidim? It's Eidim Migo against Eidim. Which means he understands that the Shtar is finito la comedia, the Shtar is already complete Eidus. There's no difference if the Shtar was Mekuyom and not Mekuyom. The Agoda is finito. Mekuyom is finito, there's a din of Choyzer Umagid. When it's not Mekuyom, it's not finito that you can Choyzer Umagid, but you are Choyzer Umagid. It's not a continuation of Magid, and we are adjusting a Magid. So, according to the Maharsha,
you're not being crazy from what you said. You're saying, I want to say something else.
You said A, the Shtar is A.
And I want to leave
If it's Mekuyom, it's finito, you cannot Choyzer Umagid. If it is not Mekuyom, you are allowed to Choyzer Umagid, but it's a new Agodo. It's a new Agodo. And you an Eidi, you Trei, with the Migu. Which type of Migu? To rip the Shtar. How you can rip the Shtar? Toisa says, because it's 2 options. Here we have 2 options. The Teres Yaakov learns, because it's a Migu of Mezuyov, and Migu Zohar can rip the Shtar. But Toisa says, it's Eidi with the migo against Eidim. So what migo of even mezuyah that I rip a star? How can I rip the star? It's trei with the migo. What migo helps more? Wait a second. It's a migo mezuyah. So by definition, you must learn according to the Maharsha that the star was mekuyom through the mouth of the Eidim. When the Eidim said K'sav Yodeinu, it made the star complete, and it closed the Eidus of the star. And now when they say Anusim with the Migu, and Migu the Mezuyah, it's Eidim, Eidus with the Migu against Eidus. It's Eidim against Eidim. That's the Maharsha's question. Why I rip? And the answer is, the star was never closed. When they say K'sav Yodeinu, it was Hashem Soifot to finish. Like the Rav Hainu learns in the answer places. This is the Maharsha. The second pshat of the Torah Yaakov and Tosos will be, which is like the Shita Yeshivah, will be as follows. The Eidim of the star, and the Eidim of the star. And the star, Midoraisa, is a good star. It's not Mezuyah. So I have Anan Sadeh Midoraisa. So it's a big against Anan Sadeh. Now, the star I already considered Anan Sadeh and Eidim without the kiyum of the Eidim as saying K'sav Yodeinu, like we learned in the Maharsha. So I'm shoving this extra point in the Torah Sachem and the Maharsha. That according to the Maharsha, the kiyum came through the mouth of the Eidim K'sav Yodeinu, you cut. And Minele, the Maharsha says, it's Eidim plus Migo against Eidim. And the answer is, they never make time talking evil, they destroy it. According to the second pshat of the Torah Yaakov, or like the Shita Yeshivah and Tosos, we have to say different. We have to say that the star itself is complete. Eidus Midoraisa, there's not Mezuyah, and therefore I have Anan Sadeh. And the Migu is Migu by Shosi. So therefore you learn, Tosos is learning, Tosos is learning what? Tosos is learning, it's Migu against Eidim. Is it Eidim plus Migu against Eidim? Could be. And where's the Eidim? Where's the Eidim? The Eidim is, the Shachar doesn't have a problem which is Eidim Migu against Eidim. He has a problem that I don't rip the star because it's not a good, it's a Migu by Shosi. But you also could learn in this pshat that the star is Eidus, even it's not Mekuyom. Midorais is not Mezuyah, therefore Midorais I have Anan Sadeh. And therefore the Migu wants to fight the Eidus of the star with Eidim, because the second pair Anusim, it's Eidus, it's a Naya Eidus, it's Eidus to the Migu that wants to fight the first Eidus. So why rip the star? The answer is not against I can rip the star. So both ways you can learn, like the Maharsha, just to rip the star has to be Migu the Mezuyah. And if it's Migu the Baishasi, such a Migu cannot rip the star even if I destroy the kiyum. But if I say a third pshat, that's pshat of Rashi. This is what I mean, I'm explaining all the svos together. But Rashi must learn that when you have a shtar midoraisa and it's not mekuyom, it's like loinech koedusam ebezi. What does it mean? Resh Lakish really said, Eidim chasum al shtar, keminech koedusam ebezi. It's like nechkeron. So how can I say there's not nechkeron? Oh, not mekuyom. So midoraisa is not mezuyah, but midrabon is not mekuyom. So midrabon we worry for mezuyah. So once we worry for mezuyah, so we don't. So now it goes back to the doraisa din. There's not nechkeron. The Eidus is not finished. Midoraisa the Eidus is not finished. Because once the rabbis worried for kiyum means the chachomim didn't finish to clarify this Eidus because they were still worried for ziyut. So therefore they still can speak. So then they never mitzad chadagod and they believe to rip the shtar, not like that to rip the shtar. Mitzad Eidus, you also have a pesha also mitzad migu. You don't have to come into that. And sometimes migu doesn't work because they're making some freshoim. I don't hear the klam my seresh like the Rambam says. So I don't have a migu, but Eidus I have.
The Gemara says a pesha also is migu.
call.
Yes, Rabbi Israel. Okay.
But how does that fit in the words of Tosfos?
We're going to do that more. I don't have the time now. I wanted to read the Tosfos in the diary. Which parish is the most shot parish? There's a lot of kashas in the diyukim and the kasha and the teretz. You learn it yourself. Try to fit it inside. But I want everyone, Bezrat Hashem, I want everyone to prepare the Reb Chaim and the Chazon Ish and the Nesivos on the Tosfot and start with the Birkat Shmuel.
Start with what?
We're going to see on this Tosfot, continue to see Reb Chaim, Nesivos, it was all printed in the papers, and the Chazon Ish. And if we were Zoicher, we're going to see a little bit more the Birkat Shmuel.